And good morning, all of my marvelous friends. You might have just heard the ding. That was someone messaging me right as the stream went live. But that's okay, he's in California, so time zone differences and all that. So, confusion. Okay, I've got to get... Okay, first, I acknowledge the traditional owners of this land, the Whadjuk Noongar peoples. I pay my respects to their elders, past and present, and to Aboriginal elders and peoples from other communities who may be taking part in this live stream today. Okay, where are we? Okay, yes, we have TTS up and live and running. So, good morning to Tabraze, Wagon Loads, Henrik. Henrik. I haven't actually seen it yet, but just before the stream, Henrik messaged me and said that he posted something to Dave Jones, and Dave opened it on a mailbag episode, on his recent mailbag episode. So I've got to go and check that out later. Good morning to Alan Madsen, SK Photo Guy, welcome back, haven't seen you for a little while. Grant, Mazels, Any Meal, Stephen W, Russell Rainey, Immy, Gavin. Yes, Gavin, it was a good barbecue last week. That was cool. Sharky, and hang on, I've just got to click on some of these names because if I click on them, they disappear out of the list and then I know who I've said hello to and who I haven't. Take Nebulous, Simon, Matt W, welcome. Now, what was I doing? Okay. So, right. Now, where do I begin? Okay, first off, yes, barbecue last week was really cool. Oh, no, before even that, I've got to figure out where the chat is. I don't have the chat window open. It happened. What was this? It's Henrik. Thanks, Henrik. So I've got to pop out the chat. I did not have the interface open like the YouTube studio thingy. Okay, which meant that I did not have the messages in front of me. Switching to live chat, here we go. Okay, so I saw a message earlier. Tabraze said, Nerdbrag, pulled the trigger on the purchase of a new Threadripper PC. Waterblock arrived, but came with 2 Intel screw sets, so it's been sitting on my desk unpowered waiting for AMD screws. Oh, cool. So you're getting some more computing power. That's pretty cool, Tabraze. I thought I saw another nerd brag in there. Oh yeah, so SK Photo Guy said, hopefully in the next couple of months, I can be more active again and pick some brains about that project I was working on this past spring. What was that project? Have you mentioned, is it something that you've mentioned in the past? Or is this something that we do not yet know about? So, SK Photo Guy, please share. Wagon Load said, Nerdbrag, JSON controlled cap substitution box. When you say cap substitution, I assume... Oh, here's another one. Who was that? Who was that one? It was Henrik again. A double shot for Henrik. Okay, so I assume that you are not JSON. So you don't have someone named Jason standing beside you going cap on, cap off. It's not that sort of JSON controlled cap substitution. My guess is, hang on, cap substitution box. No, I think you're going to have to explain it. I could take some guesses, but they're probably dramatically wrong. Where's the countdown clock, Astabraze? Stephen asked, were any squirrels harmed in the making of the quick release? Short answer is not yet. I may well be harmed, and I am a squirrel, so that would count. Alan said, midnight here. Okay, good morning, Alan. Grant says, okay, nerd brag from Grant. Got the login prompt and U-boot menu on Greenwave controller. Ooh, that is super interesting. Okay, because I have a heap of those green wave controllers. So when you say you got a U-boot menu, what are they running on those things? Are they running like just generic router firmware or something? I wouldn't be surprised actually if they were running them just like a standard router distro with a yeah. Anyway, yes, grand. So background for that: those Z-Wave power boards that I have, many boxes of. I've got power boards which are 6-way outlets. I've got the single outlets. I also have the display which goes on your counter, but this stuff is all obsolete. It's many years old. It is designed to connect to a cloud service that doesn't even exist anymore. So I assumed that the controllers were useless. But what I was hoping is that someone would be able to figure out how to flash firmware onto them and maybe turn them into a useful device. So if Grant has actually made progress on that, that is really cool. Okay, so we also have Paul. Oh, which reminds me, Paul sent me this. So this is the pulse sensor thingy that Paul sent previously. And I don't think I will do anything with that on this stream, but my plan, Paul, is that yes, I will definitely look at that and show it on a stream. Also, Stephen George is here, Scott Miller, David C. Yeah, cool. And some of those names reminded me. So the barbecue last Sunday, was it last Sunday? It must have been last Sunday. Yes, so we had someone new come along. We had a couple of new people, I think, actually, and one of them was Dylan from the Stockpot YouTube channel, who some of you may know already. The Stockpot. I'm just going to, let's see, this one, this one, this one. So the Stockpot AU is his channel, and he does things like, yeah, one of the videos that I watched a little bit ago, where is it? The DIY Universal Remote. So this one was 6 months ago. He made a remote control. I think it's got an ESP32 in it and stuff. So anyway, he's done some cool videos, and because he works in video production, I think, that's the impression I get. His actual production quality is very high. He certainly knows what he's doing when it comes to creating videos. Anyway, he's got this project at the moment for building these Christmas trees, and they're made with RGB LED strips and circuit boards for the power distribution and data distribution, all that sort of thing, and they're very cool. So anyway, Dylan came along, and that was cool. So
Tabray's Malik said, if it's U-boot, couldn't you just create your own image and program it on the flash chip? Are these things in built flash or something? Why is this difficult?
why is it difficult? All of these things are more difficult than you would think. So Grant has got to the login prompt and the U-boot menu. That in itself might have taken a bit of messing around. But then you've got to build an image that will run on the target microcontroller, or I don't even know what the chip is in those. I can't remember. I think I pulled one apart at some point, had a brief look and went, I don't know what that's meant to be doing. So I didn't go any further. So yeah, it's totally up. It's mystery hardware. So you've got to, we don't know what the peripherals are. We don't know what the pin assignments are. We don't know how it's all designed at all. So we're working, when I say we, I'm not doing anything with it. Grant has done it all. So it is mystery hardware.
Henrik Ostrov said, "Can you open one now quickly?"
Henrik, I won't. Not that I don't want to, but that could be a big squirrel that could take the next hour of the stream. And I want to get on to actually doing stuff, designing things, sending it to the 3D printer, getting it printed in time to be able to see the end result on the stream, which means that I need to get the process underway for that, because the printing will take a little bit anyway. Yeah, so Stephen George said, Grant, we want to hear more about that. Yeah, we definitely do. Stephen also says, Nerd brag, built the Christmas trees I purchased from Dylan, the Stockpot YouTube, at the barbecue last week. Picture in Discord. Nice. SK Photo Guy said, okay, so this is the project that SK Photo Guy was talking about. An ESP32 based DMX controller about the same size as the cheap DJ ones you can find online, but far more powerful. Ah, DMX for lighting and other things. That's cool.
Henrik Ostrov said, about 3D printing when AI can make STL files.
You can, hang on, I didn't hear all of that. I think I talked over it. I will get to that in the chat. Okay. Ooh, Paul Schultz said, Nerdbrag, got a PR accepted into ESP Home. Got IO port expander support into LoRa radio SX126X code. Haha, congratulations, Paul. It's always cool getting a pull request accepted. Okay, so Wagon Loads, explaining the JSON selected cap things. 4-digit BCD selected SSR to select capacitors wired in parallel to make any value you ask for. Okay, so it's capacitance on demand. That would be, yeah, that could be useful for very specific things. I'm trying to think of a use case for that. Some kind of a tuning, yeah, not sure. Like maybe like an antenna tuning thing, automatic antenna tuning. Henrik said, can't you just flash them like you did with Sonoff? They are not just simple microcontroller things. Those controller boards are, yeah, the bar is significantly higher. Grant clarified, yes, you can flash firmware from U-boot. You can also boot from NFS or TFTP, but knowing how to build a good Linux image might be a bit hard. Yeah, that's right. You have to actually build the binary that you're going to be booting on it. And then, yeah, which means investigating the hardware. That is quite a reverse engineering project. Alan asked, is there a way in KiCad to export the PCB as a DXS file? I'm pretty sure there is. Anymill said, my flight into Melbourne didn't land until after the barbecue had finished. Oh no! Were you coming to Melbourne, Anymills? Or were you in Melbourne? I assume you're not anymore. Stephen said, Greenwave gateways run Linux. Some reverse engineering was done on non-locked down units. I just put the link in Discord on what is done so far. Nice. Yeah. Away in Charlton. Brucebian, member for 23 months. Thank you. Now, yeah, I have hundreds of those gateways, and I would really like to find a use for them. Being able to get something running on them would be a very cool thing. I don't want them to become e-waste. That's why I've hung on to them for a couple of years now. Ooh, Stephen says it runs Linux, 400 megahertz PC40X platform, 64 megabyte memory and 32 megabyte flash. That's not rubbish. That is a kind of surprisingly powerful machine. A 400 megahertz power PC, that's a decent machine. Stephen says, I actually want to desolder the flash and dump it. Hopefully not encrypted so we can dump the Z-Wave params for the displays. Yes. Henrik said, what about 3D printing when AI can make STL files? Yeah, but is it going to make anything that's any good? I have specific needs. I have ideas. I am... Ooh, I don't want to go down this rabbit hole. My whole frustration with AI. It's a tool. It is not magic. And you can't just say, design me blah and have it work. You've got to be very clear about how to use the tool. There are very specific
Scott Miller
skills.
said, 3D printed hallucinations.
yeah, 3D print an Escher picture. SK Photo Guy, the big issue I ran into was interfacing with 18 rotary encoders using
Henry
port
Bostock
expanders.
said, I asked, can AI make SDL files even?
Oh, okay. You're asking if it can. Yeah, I think so. Probably. Now, where are we? Fund it under file slash... Oh, Alan says found it under file, plot. Just pick DXF format. Yeah, okay, cool. So from KiCad, yes, you can export a DXF. Crispian says, no brag, attended and spruiked BDRC at a 3-day drag racing event, still in Charlton where it was held. Massive country-style after-party. We're heading further into the bush for a well-earned holiday. Nice. Eddie Mill says, was in Melbourne last week for Cisco Live, back in Radelaide now. And in the end, you might have, Tabray said, Stephen George, in the end, you might have to dump the flash, cheroot the environment, and change the password and reflash to get past the login prompt. Yep. Stephen's heading down to the Spark Hamfest. Okay. Alrighty, now I'm going to get into... Wagonload says, I uploaded a screenshot of my circuit diagram and AI wrote Arduino code of it.
Tabray's Malik said, there's a company in London that was trying to hire people to do AI design for electronics. The recruiter got on touch, but I said I wasn't interested.
Okay. Yeah, there is certainly a lot that machine learning can be used for in relation to electronics design. And it is kind of mind-blowing the way that you can just throw an image of a schematic at it. Like just a JPEG or something. It doesn't even have to be like a proper logical connection. It processes the JPEG and figures out connections, and then it can explain things like how the circuit works. It is very impressive, but you just need to, you need to be aware of what it's doing.
Ostrov said, I just tested it didn't make a file, it made a script for software like OpenSCAD and Blender.
Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah, that makes sense. I have heard that it is pretty decent at OpenSCAD. Like if you use ChatGPT or something, you can have it generate an OpenSCAD file, which is essentially like a script. It's like because OpenSCAD is kind of a programmatic interface to CAD. Also, hello to Jax Tech, who has joined the chat. Now, I have a problem. Okay, some of you will say, a problem? A problem? Just one? Only one? Okay, I have many problems. This particular problem that I want to solve today is in relation to this. Oops. Well, that was funny. Is in relation to this. Now, Testomatic. How am I going to demonstrate this? All right, this is a test module. This is the pressure plate. Now, this particular test module is the oversized one. I think I might have, did I show you this one recently? I think I did. Anyway, this is an oversized test module that goes into the Testomatic chassis. And then there is a pressure plate that pushes down on the top of the PCB so that it will engage with all of the little pogo pins in here. And so the PCB goes there, the pressure plate goes on top, and it's got these plastic pins that push down onto the top of the surface of the circuit board and engage it. So if I'll rotate it this way. So you are looking at the whole thing side on. It's lying on the side, but that's just because the camera is up in the sky looking straight down on me. So the pressure plate needs to be engaged like this. It pushes down on the PCB. Now, what I need to do is, so the actual test modules are quick change. It's got the edge connector on it, so I can slide these out. I can drop a new test module in and slide it in. That part is pretty well sorted and it seems to work well. What I need is a way of attaching the pressure plate to the overhead gantry and the clamp and being able to change them easily. So I have an idea for how I'm going to do this, and it involves magnets. Like all good things, magnets are involved. So this is, oops, got a cable getting in the way there. I'm going to try to tip this sideways without everything falling apart, which is going to be a bit of a challenge. All right, so this is the Test-O-Matic chassis. There's the test module in it. There is the overhead gantry with the clamp that, oops. So this clamp comes down, and that's what pushes down on the pressure plate to engage it with the PCB. So this is a pressure plate for that particular, so this pressure plate matches this test module. And you can see that what I did was I 3D printed this little plastic block. I'll show you this in Fusion in a second, the actual design for it. It's kind of hard to see because it's all black. It'd be much easier to see if I'd printed it in a brighter color. It's got a slot in the end. It's like a T-shaped slot. So what happens is this can slide onto the bolt head. Like if I slide that on there, that's now supported, and now it can be engaged and disengaged, and I can slide it off the bolt head. Now that is kind of okay. This was like my first very quick, this is going to be rubbish, but I just need something solution. So you're looking straight down on it now. So it's got the T-shaped slot in that. You just slide it over the bolt head, and that's how it goes. Now it does work, except that it's loose. So once it goes on, it can just fall off, and there's not a huge gap in there. If you look at the space between the pressure plate and the pogo pin area, it's like 10 or 12 millimeters gap. So you can slide a PCB in, but it's kind of awkward. The pins get in the way, the whole pressure plate gets in the way. It gets knocked off, it gets rotated. Rotating this bolt adjusts the vertical position, so that changes how much pressure is applied. So I need to make sure that the bolt doesn't get rotated. And I also need to stop this from rotating. You can see that it just spins on the bolt head at the moment. I want it to be fixed so that it is aligned along here. Now, this is a problem that has been buzzing away in my subconscious for maybe a week or so. And I've got that thing where I lie in bed at night and design things in my head, and then the next morning I can't remember what it was. And it might have been because the sleep just wiped the idea out of my head, but then I wake up the next day thinking, I solved this problem last night. I came up with the design and I can't remember. So I have these kind of vague ideas in my head of how I want to solve this problem, what mechanism I want to design here. And now I'm going to try to design it and see if I can recall what it was that was in my head. So now what has happened in chat? Has nothing happened in chat? Looks like a static version of a CNC gantry, said Wagon Loads. Yep. Hang on, I've got to get chat back up here where I can see it easily. In fact, Scott says, did you think about using that robot from last week to hold the pressure plate and press it down? Yes, robots may be involved at some point. What would be even better would be if what the robot could do is pick up the PCB, I wouldn't need a pressure plate at all. The robot could pick up the PCB, put it on the tester and hold it down, and then the test could be run, then the robot could pick it up and put it aside into a pass or a fail location, and then pick up the next one. That would be the best way of doing it. Now, what are we doing? Oh yeah, that's right. I'm going to move that across there and move this here. And test modules, test module rack. Oh, this is something that I was working on yesterday. So what I'll do is I'll get back to the test module rack while the 3D print is running. Yeah, okay, now this is something for you to all think about. If I have a robot arm that I want to pick up a PCB, what should the actuator look like? And it's actually a surprisingly difficult problem because the robot SO101s come with like a claw gripper, which is fine if you want to pick up a soft ball like a tennis ball or something. It's the ideal sort of size for that. But picking up a circuit board with parts on it is actually kind of hard because if it's sitting flat on the bench, the board itself is quite thin. So if you're going to grip the edges, you have to get the gripper oriented very accurately and it can slip off the edges of the PCB. But you can't grab the top of the board because there are parts on it. There might be capacitors sticking up and other random bits and pieces. So the idea of something like a vacuum pickup is also very tricky. So question for you. Figure out a design.
Ostrov said, can you make a longer piece for the clamp so it won't rotate with a pin?
A longer piece for the clamp so it won't rotate with a pin. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, there could be multiple pins. So the way this thing, this is a mechanism off a test jig, and you can see that it's got two vertical rails. So the idea, well, vertical rods with these little linear bearings in it. So the idea is that this plate moves vertically and it can't rotate. Like it can't twist that way, it can't twist that way. It's held by these two things here. And then the clamp just pushes it up and down. So that is a way of constraining the mechanism. But that's not changeable because you've got to disassemble this to get this plate off this mechanism. So then what you would need is a way of attaching the pressure plate to this and a quick release mechanism for that. So you're still stuck with the problem of how do you design that clamping mechanism. Jack Sex said suction cup on a known flat spot. Alan Madsen also said small suction cups, yep. Jack Sex said, or a known hole pattern that a custom claw slots into. Yeah, usually there's not a whole lot of spare space on PCBs though to be able to do that. Okay, where are we? TMod. Where did I even... Oh, miscellaneous pieces? Is this where it is? No. I'm trying to find... Oh, maybe I did it inside one of these. What I'm just looking for is... Oh, no. It might be in the template. No, not there. It's like tin can board, MCM, or maybe it's in MCM because that's what it's attached to. There's a clamp, the pressure plate, pressure pins of different sizes. No, I need to go through and do a bit of cleanup and reorganization of this. Not there. Where? Oh, I don't even know what I called it. Jacksec said, re your pressure plate. Look at how sewing machine feet are attached. Oh. And Waganoid says, have a pressure plate connector connect to the upper device using a dovetail connector. Okay. It won't be an RC mod, I'm pretty sure. No. Where? Oh, maybe under chassis? Could I have put it in here, even though it would not be the appropriate place for it? Yes, I did put it in here. Pressure plate clip. This is the thing that I've got. Henrik said usually they use like flip up lids with interchangeable plates, for example, no rotation on there. Scott says industrial robots are always designed for replaceable end actuators. Then the actuator is designed for the task. Yes, exactly. So that's what I want, is a design for an actuator that could be attached to something like the SO101 robot. Now, in this design, you can see much more clearly the black thing that is attached to the top of the pressure plate. So, this thing here that you can see, that black 3D printed plastic thing, that is this. So you can see that the head of the bolt slides into that T slot and then pushes down on this. And it's got these 4 screw holes, and the pressure plate is laser cut with holes in it. So there are self-tappers that go up through the pressure plate and into this block. Okay. Now, there is another, this is going to sound totally ridiculous. There is another constraint. Actually, no, before I get into that, I'm going to, what am I going to do? I'm going to create a new design, and where am I going to begin? Okay, I'm going to steal some geometry from this. Edit sketch. I'm wondering if I should, yeah, stuff it. I'm just going to, or do I? My brain is kind of zigzagging would be one way to put it. It's jigging and jagging because I'm thinking through all the different ways of actually starting. Henrik says, can't you just use T-shaped head
Henrik
bolts?
Ostrov said,
T-head
can
shaped
you
bolts.
just use T-head shaped bolts?
Yeah, but how? In what way? You mean like just the way I'm already doing it? Okay, so what I want to do, okay, I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to close that pressure plate clip. I'm going to be really lazy, and I'm just going to copy this. And hang on, did that go into the, yes, it did go into the right place. Okay, I'm just going to make a copy of it. So I'm going to open this, close this, and I'm going to backtrack in
Pete
time.
said, I see nobody has liked John's video, lol.
It's because nobody likes my video. And get rid of that. Okay, so what we are left with now is just a block, because I've just suppressed, in fact, can I multi-select? I'm just rolling back in time. I'm just going to delete all these features. Okay, so now we have a block. This block will fit the holes on the top of the pressure plate. Now, okay, I'm going to get back to my silly restriction in a minute. Edit feature. So at the moment the block is 10 millimeters thick. I'm going to change that to 3 millimeters because what I'm going to do is put magnets in it. Now, if I edit this sketch, and I'm going to make some construction lines through here on the axes, because I'm going to
Henrik Ostrov said, I've sent you a link for the part I was thinking of.
Yep, I saw a message, but I'm going to keep working on this. Constraints, fix. I'm going to fix that and fix that. Then, what am I going to do? Modify parameters, and I'm going to... Do I have any parameters? I do not. Magnet diameter, and I'm going to make that 3 millimeters, and make some circles on, and I'm going to do magnet diameter, circle, magnet diameter, yes. So, this may be excessive, but I can always just not populate holes if that works out to be the way it goes, the way the cookie crumbles. Alright, so I'm going to finish that and modify that and get
Outside
rid of...
the box said, Imi and I can only hear you, as her tablet just failed and YT is functionally not a thing on a phone.
Oh well. You'll just have to use your imagination. Use the magic. So what is the... Okay. I'm just going to measure the diameter of the bolt head, which I could have got out of the other model, but anyway. Okay, so it's just under 9 millimeters. So let's make a 10 millimeter hole in the center here. Now, I am visualizing here the end result of what I'm trying to get to, and
Tabray's Malik said, just got back onto stream. Why not just change the bolt to one with a square head or 3D print it?
I don't think that's going to solve the problem, because the bolt could still turn inside. Well, then how do you attach the bolt? I want something where I can just snap these pressure plates on and off and have them go into the same orientation every time. So I want to do that and then edit this and get rid of that. So anyway, yes, I have this visualization in my head of what it is that I'm doing here. Also, I wonder if I should get rid of... No, I won't. I'm going to leave this. Ooh, big glue cripper. Sorry, I got a message about... oops. I want to select all of these. No, this could... do I want to angle this? I think I maybe do. Okay, so that's 3 millimeters. I'm going to bring it in 1 millimeter. I'm just kind of talking to myself now. All right, I want to chamfer this, but I want it to be chamfer, 8 edges, equal distance. No, I want 2 distances. I want this one to be 1 millimeter, and I want the other one to be 3 millimeters because that's the thickness. Okay, so now we have a plate that has the holes for it to be screwed onto.
You're actually talking to all your imaginary friends.
Yeah, you're right, Scott. I'm talking to my imaginary friends. So the plan with this is that this is to replace the black 3D printed thing that is currently on the top of that pressure plate. So what I've done is I've reduced its thickness to 3 millimeters because I'm going to use these little magnets. I've got these little things that are 3... Oh, magnet thickness. I just screwed up. These magnets, they're little, you know, the little round disky type ones. I've got a bunch of them here. They are 3 millimeters thick, but they are not 3 millimeters diameter. They are 6 millimeters diameter. So it is a good thing that I parameterized that. Let's make that 6 millimeters diameter. That would have been annoying. Okay, so now we've got holes for the magnets to go into. The whole plate is 3 millimeters thick, which means it's the same thickness as the magnet.
Said, I meant the bolts are meant for aluminium extrusions. Some of them can turn, but others actually don't.
Ah, okay. They meant, yeah. But the problem is, how do you attach it? I need a mechanism. The bolt is not the problem. I need a mechanism for attaching it to the pressure plate, because the pressure plate is just a piece of acrylic. It's a flat piece of plastic. So this will screw to the top of the pressure plate. And then in each of these holes, there will be a magnet. Now, the reason that there is a big hole in the middle is that is possibly unnecessary. I don't even know yet. That's going to be for the end of the bolt head, potentially, which might protrude down from the clamping plate, the clamping portion that is going to intersect with this. So here is what I'm going to do next. Now, what have I got? It is 30 millimeters across, 20 millimeter centers on those. And that's going to, oh no, that'll work, that'll work. What I'm thinking of doing here is making the negative version of this piece that it will fit into.
Said, it can slide like the first solution you showed, just it won't rotate on the bolt head, something like that.
Yeah, maybe. Okay, now I want to make, I don't want to do that. I want to make a new design and sketch on there. Oops, wrong. No, I don't want to do that. I want to delete that sketch. No. Finish sketch. Delete, delete, delete. I put the sketch on the wrong face. I want to put it on there. Okay, so we're looking down at it from the top. How am I going to do this? So I want to go 30 millimeters, then angle it in, but I want 30 plus, okay, here we go. 30. I have a cunning plan. This plan is so cunning, my lord. And then how much? 5 millimeters out, so I'll go 40 and 40. And then, what did I have as the fillets on the inner corners? I think it was 2 millimeter fillets. So that was a 2, do a 2 on each of these. 2. I don't know why the fillet tool deselects after setting, yeah, there's probably some little workflow thing in Fusion that I could improve. And just because I like the idea of making the edges slightly rounded, I'm also going to put 2 millimeter fillets on the outside. And then we are going to turn this into an object. So I want to go up, then that, push that in. Yeah, okay. Here we go. I'm going to go let's see. Okay, I'm going to add, I probably could have done this in the same magnet diameter. I could have done this in the same thing and just done different bodies, but I'm not that clever. I do not pretend to be clever. So I'm going to do it the simple, naive way. Stereotypes. Yeah, okay, here comes a joke from Pete. I don't know if it's going to come through or not. Oh, it was blocked. Mitchell's filter blocked your joke, Pete. Your stereotypes joke. Yes, those are just stereotypes. Yeah, so Jacksec said the bolt on the clamp is circular by the looks of what he showed earlier. That was in reply to Henrik. Yeah, but it is just an M4 bolt, so it can be replaced with whatever M4 threaded thing we want to stick in there. So that's not a problem. We can actually switch that. Okay, now coming back to here, I'm going to, what I probably should have done is once again duplicated this. In fact, I should have, it's not too late. I could just duplicate this. Then I can go, then the extrude can, yeah. Yeah, it's not too late. I'm going to ditch this. Okay, I'm going to delete that and don't save. So I have now just undone all of my work. Back to here, duplicate this one. And yes, copy it to here. What about making the mounting block in two halves so they're keyed to each other, dovetails or alignment grooves, or upper half frames around the lower half? Wagon Loads just described exactly what I'm doing. What's in my head, which has not yet come out in reality. So you are going to see that. You are going to see all of those things. Yes, Jacksec said, why not use a hex head and have flat sides that hold the plate in alignment, or does the bolt itself spin? Oh, the bolt itself spins unless there's a locking nut against the other end of it, which is used to set the vertical position, so there is a complication. I can't use a hex containment of the bolt head because I need to be able to rotate the bolt to adjust the vertical position. So we will get to that. Okay, this. All right, I'm going to suppress that. I'm going to suppress that. Stuff it, I'm just going to delete it. Yes, delete it, and delete the other thing. Okay, so now, edit sketch. So what I'm going to do now on this one is I'm going to change this diameter to 4.2 because I want to put an M4 bolt through there. And I'm going to get rid of these corner holes. And I am going to add another rectangle out here and take it out to, what was that, 30? So that's right, I was doing 40 and 40, wasn't I? And then I'm going to refill at those corners. That one and that one. And now I will have something that I can use to make effectively a negative of the other part, and like almost like a dovetail sort of thing. Okay, so now finish. Do I want to finish? Yes. Okay. Show me the sketch. Okay, so now I'm going to extrude everything. And then I'm going to undo
Scott
some
Miller
of that.
said, countersink the bolt head.
Yes, that is my plan. So then I'm going to press pull, how much? Let's make it, no, I've got to envelop the 3, then the 3, which is 6, 4, yeah, 10. 10 millimeters should do it. Okay, and then bring the sketch back. And now, this is when the magic happens. I'm going to include all of these there. repeat press pull, and I'm going to go 3 as a cut. Then turn that sketch back off, and then I'm going to grab all of these edges and also I should mention I may be taking myself to hospital after this stream to get a tetanus injection. What's going on out there? There's someone outside doing something, and I don't know what. Okay, chamfer, 2 distance. I want that one to be 3 millimeters in that dimension, and I want that one to be 1 millimeter in that dimension. Okay, which matches, yeah. If your eyes are going strange right now, and it looks like this is, you know, some optical illusion thing, it's possibly because I have the camera set in orthographic mode, and if I switch to perspective mode, then it'll start to, it looks more like the actual physical object, but it's not so useful when you're doing the stuff. Okay, so now I'm going to turn that sketch back on. I'm going to go ka-choink and press pull to that face, and then I'm going to grab these and I'm going to press pull 6 millimeters because that is the 3 millimeter gap plus the hole. And now we have a block that has holes for magnets. It has a hole for the bolt head to go into, and it will fit down on top of this. So this part will be on the pressure plate, and this part will come down descending on top of it, or the other one will come up underneath it rather, and the magnets will all snap together. So the bolt will come through here, the bolt head will be on this side, and the head will fit into this clearance hole. That's my plan anyway. But what I think I'll do is rebate the...
Tabray's Malik said, "Why, what happened? Did you step on a rusty nail?"
Oh, yeah, that's right, I did. I did exactly that. Let's make this
Henrik Ostrov
10.
said, "Why 4 magnets can you just use for one in the center that grabbed the bolt?"
Because I want to stop it rotating. Well, I could just use one in the center to grab the bolt. Yeah, I don't know. That is an interesting idea to brace. That would possibly optimize the design a little. So I'm going to press this to 6, which will give it 3 millimeters of rebate. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to save that and maybe do a little bit of... do I? Don't I? Yeah. Just a tiny little smidge of filleting here, just because I think it helps. No, I'm going to make that bigger. Let's make that 0.4. Okay, so it can be printed this way. Now, do I want to do anything on those edges? Yeah, I think I might just slightly
Henrik
bevel
Ostrov said,
these
"It would
edges.
save on the magnet count a lot, and also the glue."
Yeah, that's true. It would. I'm just not sure that it would be strong enough. Now, where am I? Yeah, the magnets may be overkill. I don't know. This is all going to be an experiment. This is going to be the first thing. What am I doing? Chamfering. That's right. I'm chamfering by 0.5. No, I want the chamfer bigger. Let's go to 1. That still doesn't look very much. Let's go for 2. Oh, I see. It's a 2. It was a double... Yeah, that'll do. That will do. Okay, 2mm chamfer on there. Can you test right now how strongly the magnet sticks on the bolt? Yes. Yes, I could. Grab a magnet. Grab out the bolt. Just got to unscrew it from the thingamajigamy. Oh, this bolt is a lot longer than I thought. Oh, it doesn't stick at all. Hang on. Yeah, so this is the bolt out of it. This is a magnet. It sticks to the nut that is on the bolt, but it won't stick to the bolt because the bolt is stainless steel. I hadn't thought of that. Yeah. If it wasn't an off-white object on a white background. Yeah, okay, so... all right, so next stage is I am going to go appearance, and let's pick something that will make it easier. Oh, come on. Plastic. Polyamide? Yeah, let's do that. Okay. So we'll make this one gold, and this one, what do we do for this? Let's make it, let's make it a translucent thing, and we'll make it translucent. Oh, what about maybe transparent? Yeah, transparent acrylic red. Okay, let's do that. And that way, when we, oh, maybe the other way around. Oh no, this will do. This will do. Yep, that, and then save that, and then I'm going to go new design, bring this in, insert into current design, and boom, and then this one, insert into current design. Yeah, I should change it so that the translucent one is on the outside. Let's do that. We'll go appearance on this one, make this one that, and then save it. And this one we will make where was it? Polyamide, Kapton. Let's make it that. And save that. And now we'll update the components in this one, and we will get the translucent red outer shell, which will be attached to the bolt. So that's going to be on the, let's see if I turn, yeah, so this part here will be attached to the bolt. The bolt will go up through there with the head recessed inside there and attached to the clamp, and then this part will be attached to the actual thingamajigamy. Now, one of the reasons that I have been puzzling over this whole design in my head for so long is I have a very specific constraint that I want this part that attaches to the pressure plate to be as thin as possible. And if I'm going to use a magnet, the 3mm magnet is the...
Scott Miller said, now model the bulb from scratch. Threads included.
That's actually remarkably easy in Fusion. So... and I have done it before many times for different types of things. Now you're just okay. No, I'm not. I was going to start designing a bolt with a hex head, but I need to get these other things off to the printer. So let's do this. Let's send these to the printer, and then I can go on with other things. So what am I going to do? I want to save as mesh. That's right. I'm trying to remember what I'm doing. Okay, pressure plate test. No, I do not want to save it there. I want to save it, just moving off screen, just in case, because I'm not sure what's going to pop up. Dropbox, 3D printing, where are we? Testomatic. Here we go. And pressure plate clip. And yes, replace. Oh, I should give these more sensible names. This is silly. All right, pressure plate clip. Pressure plate clip lower? That'll do for now. I spell good. Rename. Pressure plate clip lower. Pressure plate clip upper. And okay, now I'll export this again. Export, no, not export. I want to save as mesh. Here we go. Testomatic, pressure plate clip upper. Yep. And this I will save as pressure plate clip lower. Yes. And then let's send it to the printer. And then I can start being nerd sniped by Scott. Yeah. Okay. Where are we? Device, wake up device, sync. Okay, sync info, grab the filaments because I'm not sure if they are up to date. Looks like it is. Okay, let's grab, where are we? Testomatic, pressure plate clip lower, and move that aside somewhere. And then we're going to grab upper, and what I want to do is
Henrik
flip.
Ostrov said, how much infill you're going to use?
Oh, not much. They don't need to be super strong. So what filament should we use is the question. I think I'm going to do them in blue because that's blue PLA because that's loaded at the moment. And I could do them in two different colors, but then there'd be lots of filament changes. There'd be 3 millimeters worth of filament changes. What have I got? Okay, standard 0.2, don't need support. Yeah, slice, go. What's it saying? 24 minutes total time with 7 minutes prep time. So do it, printer. Go. Start giving me my things. Now, I have an embarrassing reason for needing the part on the pressure plate to be 3 millimeters thick. And that is that I need... Yesterday I designed a rack to hold these things on. And I started... I'm just going to move that out of the way for now so that we can look at other things. Now, where are we? Testomatic, test module rack. Okay, what I did was, these modules are awkward. Like, this thing here, it's I designed it so that it has a nice bottom on it. You can put this down on a bench, and even though it's got all the pogo pins and things underneath, see it's got these spaces, these are 20 millimeter spaces, and then there is the bottom plate, and then I put rubber feet on it. So I can just put these down on a bench, and they're actually really quite convenient like that. Then the pressure plate, so if it's just like this, you can stack them on top of each other. But stacking is not particularly convenient if you end up with a stack of these on your bench. And also, I need to store the pressure plates with them, ideally, so that that is stored as a unit. And that is not convenient because how do you stack those? They'll end up getting damaged. So what I did was I designed a little tray rack thingamajigamy And I'm going to go, I haven't actually done like a...
A nice bottom is important.
It is, Scott. You are right. A nice bottom is important. So I'm going to
Henrik
go...
Ostrov said, it would have been fun if you printed the magnets inside the 3D print without needing glue.
Oh, yeah. Get it to pause the print at that point and then... yeah, that's true. And then insert them. All right, I'm just going to stand that up. And then, yeah, so what I need to do is change the support bar outer, insert into current design. Yes. Now, which way is that? Oh, I need to rotate that. No, I need to rotate it that way because of the bolt holes. And there, and take it up to there. Yeah, I need to do this out of a different material so that, whoop, is that right? Yeah, that's right. Okay, so that we can see the difference. So that goes there. Then a stand strap, insert into current design, and I'll rotate it that way. Bring it down to there. Is that right? Or I may need to bring it like a 0.5 millimeter increment or something at this point. But I can do it with a joint as well. Okay, let's joint this. Let's joint this. So you can see that there is a flat plastic thing here which has got little rebates. And the reason for the rebates is to force alignment of the center point, which is not going to make a whole lot of sense to you right now. But I'm just going to joint this. Oh, hang on. No, I've got to... Stand strap. Move. Move. Rotate that 90 degrees. I just want to get it sort of approximately into the ballpark of the position. And then I can joint it on... I want to joint that onto that. Oh, no, I got the wrong thing. I want to joint it onto... I picked the wrong face. I want to joint that onto that. That's what I should have done the first time. Okay. And then I will do insert into current design and rotate that 190, move it this way. And how am I going to do this alignment? I won't do it with a joint. I'm just going to 190, 185. I think it's got to be 187.5. 187.5? No. 180. It might be 181.2, 188.25. Or is it 0.5? Yeah, that'll do. Anyway, this is just a representation. All I'm trying to do here is give you an idea of what it is that I've done. And then there is an inner, insert into current design, and yeah, take that up, take that across. Oop, it's a little bit high. And bring it down to align it there. Is it aligned? Approximately. And now I'm going to leave it at that position, not fully engaged with the slots, because what I did was I've got these vertical plates. All right, backing up. The whole reason for this is if I'm going to see if I can pull up Reolink so I can show you a camera view of the clean room. Login succeeded. Yeah, so show me some cameras. Show me some cameras. Oh, okay. Hang on. I will be back in a second. I've got to enable some stuff. Things have been moving around in here. So because I want to give you a view inside the cleanish room so that you can see see the reason that I came up with this semi-arbitrary 3mm constraint. Now, come on cameras, come on cameras. All right, while that is happening, I am going to open this and change this to, I want this one to be, yeah, let's do it, that'll do. Translucent acrylic, red, doesn't matter what color. Because the point of this is just to be able to see what's going on here. So what I did was design the, yeah, I don't have any cameras. No camera, no camera, no camera. My cameras aren't working. My cameras aren't working. Come back, cameras. Reolink. Aha, camera, camera. Yes, now it's working. All right, so this is the current live view from inside the cleanish room. And the area just here, sort of almost central of the screen here. In fact, I'm going to move this and I'll see if I can zoom this in even more. Oh, that's as zoomed as I can get. So you can see the cardboard box there, which is my little light box. Just to the left of that, this is the testing bench. And you can see the trays. There are green trays and red trays here, which are the trays PCBs go into after testing to show whether they passed or failed. And I want to be able to store the test modules up on this shelf. So there is the bench, the first shelf, what you can see right there where my cursor is squiggling around, those are PCBs on trays ready to be tested. So I want this first shelf to be all of the PCBs that are in the queue. And then the shelf above it is where I will store the test modules. And there is a vertical constraint there. So the height of that shelf, oh, you see that little yellow thing? You might just be able to make it out right there where my cursor is squiggling. That is an air quality sensor. That's one of the ones that was on the live stream. It's just sitting in the clean room. Powered up on the shelf there, so I can
Henrik
monitor.
Ostrov said, couldn't you use the common known PCB racks? They want these on a shelf, but they are good.
Common known PCB racks? Are you talking about for storing the test modules or for storing PCBs? Because I've got my own custom things with, yeah, anyway, that's a whole other story. So anyway, I have this vertical space. There is the space between this shelf and this shelf. I want to have a rack that I can slide test modules into to store as many as I can in that space. And so that dimension became the constraint for this. Now, what this rack does is there are 3 vertical plates, and this is actually already partly assembled. It's sitting out in the mechanical assembly area at the moment. I might grab it and show it on camera, maybe. But this kind of gives you a better representation anyway. So I've already laser cut all the parts for it. Some of them are glued together. So there are straps that go across the bottom, back and sides that holds it all together. That is just to save on material, because I've got a whole lot of thin offcuts of acrylic and I can cut straps out of it, which is a lot less wasteful than using big sheets of acrylic to make back and sides and things like that. Then there are these verticals, which are sheets, which have got slots in them. And then I've cut these little support duvalakis. So this is a thin piece of acrylic with little tabs that insert into it, and they make like little hanger edges. And those edges match the edges of the test modules. So this is a rack that these test modules can slide into and be supported, and it will support 4 test modules vertically within that space, and then there is another plate on the end there. So there are a total of 8. So this one rack will hold 8 test modules. Now, most of the test modules are 200 millimeters deep. This is like the standard size. But some, like this one, are deeper. So I needed to be able to have variable backstops so that the modules go into the rack and then they stop, so that the fronts are all at the same position so that you can grab them and pull them out again. So what I did was put holes into them so that a little M3 bolt can go through that hole, and these are at 20 millimeter increments, and act as a stopper. So what I can do is put a stopper in at the correct depth for the module that will go into that slot in the rack, so that when you put them in, they all go to the same position. Now the rails that go on the outside edges have tabs that are 40 millimeters long, and they go all the way along. Now what I did with the inner ones, this is why I haven't fully engaged it, is that these tabs are 20 millimeters long, and the idea is that you have one engaged from one side of the plate, the other engaged from the other side of the plate. They are flipped 180 degrees, so they're identical but flipped, and the two 20 millimeter things slide alongside each other. So on this side, for example, the little thing goes in the front half of the slot. From the other side, the one that slides in and glues in from this side will go into the back half of the slot, and then the two overlap each other. Yeah, so Wagon Loads asked, can't you mount the test modules vertically using PCB like edge rails? That was actually my original thought. So my plan had been to make slots like this, like like a vertical hard disk bay almost, and have it slide in. But Scott is exactly right, that the problem is as soon as you add these, it suddenly becomes really awkward figuring out how to make this all work. So anyway, that's what I was building yesterday when I punctured my foot. I was out the back running the laser cutter, and it absolutely stinks, like cutting acrylic. So I had the back door open and the exhaust fan running, trying to get airflow through. And what I would do is put stuff on the laser cutter, let it go, and then walk outside. And I was wandering around walking outside. In fact, I was talking to Mitch on the phone. So I was just wandering around outside, chatting to Mitch while waiting for the laser cutter to do its thing. And I stepped on a piece of wood with a rusty nail sticking up out of it. And it went right through the footwear and into the bottom of my foot. So I've been in two minds about whether to do anything about it. Like the last time I had a tetanus booster must be like 20 plus years ago. And I've been thinking, it was just a little puncture. It was only a little nail in the bottom of my foot. How bad could it be? But the thing is, if you do actually get tetanus, it's really, really bad. And I'm on immunosuppressant medication. So if I did get something like a bacterial infection, like a bacterial tetanus infection, it could be very bad because my body probably couldn't fight it. So So this happened, like maybe 5 o'clock last night. So since then, I've been thinking, I'm fine. I'm not going to get sick. It's not going to be a problem. Why would I go to the hospital and like spend hours sitting there in the waiting room for no... it's going to waste my entire afternoon, and there's no benefit to it. But the thing is, the downside, if I did actually get some kind of a tetanus infection, and right now it is percolating in my foot and starting to spread into my body, the outcome of that could be really bad. So, yeah, it just feels kind of silly going to hospital for something like that. Yeah, I'd probably, if it was a weekday, I'd probably see if I could make an appointment to see my a
Henrik
GP.
Ostrov said, you should do community cleanup. Instead of the next barbecue, take your friends and clean up around the workshop.
That seems like it would be taking advantage.
Scott Miller said, hours wasted today beats the heck out of years later having the foot amputated.
Yeah, that's true. Having the foot amputated would... Oh, on the plus side, it would make it really hard to get ankle locks and things on me in jiu-jitsu, like to get a heel hook, that sort of thing. There's the trick. You can't get heel hooked if you don't have a heel. I'll just fight you with my stumps. Okay. So anyway, just imagine this with multiple straps across the bottom and the top, and then all of these little ridges filled in, and it makes little slots that the modules can go into. So that's what I was building last night. And let's see, what folder am I in? I just want to make sure this is stored in the right place. I will save this. TM stand assembly. Not really a good reason for keeping that assembly, but anyway. And this one, yeah, get out of the way. Testomatic. I want... No, it wasn't in chassis, was it? I've lost it. Where did I put it? No, I think it was in chassis. I had these parts in chassis. Yes, I did. Okay, so this is going to be pressure plate clip assembly. Pressure plate clip assembly will do. Yeah, Crispian says hospital triage will prioritize you very low. Yes. I'll end up sitting there for the whole afternoon. So I should make sure my laptop is charged, which it probably isn't. And yeah, my phone is charged, which it might be. So I can sit there and at least not be totally wasting my time. All right, so printing is underway. It's already finished printing the small part of the pressure plate. So it's finished printing this part. It's above the 3mm mark. And now it is printing this part. So, how long have we got? 7 minutes. Okay, so it's going to be finishing at 11:31. Now, where are we? Jack Seck said go to urgent care instead. Yeah, that's the same thing, essentially. Urgent care, I think that, isn't that an American term? Urgent care? I think that's what, or is it like a British term? I don't know. Is it different to, the emergency room, the ER?
Henrik Ostrov said, Alzi, if you do the event, rent a mental detector, MBU. Have some gold over there.
Maybe I have some gold, I don't know, maybe. David said, Mountain High Shopping Centre. I didn't quite get time to read it before it was retracted. Yeah, so if I do, I'll probably just go to Knox Hospital. No, not Knox Hospital. I'll go to Marinda. Marinda Hospital is not too far from here. Okay, Jack Seck said, it's not in Victoria. We have urgent care clinics that aren't emergency rooms. Essentially, they are after-hours GP clinics. Ah, right. Wagon Light says take your charger and a Chris tree extension cord with you, and you can charge the whole room, the whole time you're in the waiting room. Yeah. Okay, so now what was I going to do? I don't remember. I was going to show you something else. Okay, I think I am going to go and grab the... Oh, Scott says, after my week in the CCU earlier this year, I put together a necessities kit with wireless earbuds and everything needed to charge my devices. Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. Dad knows where to find it to send along in the ambulance next time. Next time? There isn't going to be a next time, Scott. It'll be fine. No next time. I'm going to grab the bits that are gluing together. Oh, I've got weights on it to hold it while it to keep it all flat while the super glue dries, which it still hasn't. I need to breathe on it or something. Yeah. Yeah, that's not fully bedded down. I need some glue and clamp. So, yeah, I don't like the way super glue goes frosty on acrylic. But this is one side, and you can see that that's the vertical piece with the little rails that the modules will sit on. So the modules will sit on them like that and slide in for storage. And the height, okay, so this is where that 3mm constraint comes in. A module, where is it? Okay, this one. So a module with its pressure plate sitting, I've got to try to do this with one hand, sitting in such a way that the pressure pins go into the slot, so that's as low as it can possibly be, sitting on there, and that has to clear the bottom.
Ostrov said, you don't have the special acrylic glue.
No, I don't. There's special acrylic glue? Tell me about it. Yeah, so that the top of this has to clear the bottom of the module on the tray above, which would be up on this position. And the top of this has to clear, and you can see, if I get the alignment correct, it'll just clear, but only if that is 3mm thick. So, and it just clears on the bottom as well. So I can get 4 in here in one rack if I can make that top piece 3mm thick. So that is my semi-arbitrary constraint. It's kind of funny how things can be designed based on constraints that are really weird. Acrylic glue is better than super glue. Okay.
Henrik Ostrov said, open Google and type in acrylic glue, it's better than super glue.
I need this in my life. I definitely need acrylic glue. Weld-on 3 acrylic cement. Weld-on 16 acrylic plastic cement. JB Weld Super Weld Instant Adhesive. Acrylic special glue transparent for, yeah, okay. I need to get me some of this stuff. Wagon Load said, the stack would be shorter if you drill a hole in the bottom of the test rig that matched the spacing of the pressure pegs. Potentially. And then store it upside down. So what I could do, yeah, so you're talking about having a hole in there, and then you put this in the rack upside down and you sit this through. So this would actually go down into it like that. That's true. I could store them upside down like that. There is an optimization for future me, not for current me. Scott says, see the link I just posted above. Ooh, okay. Okay, I need some of this special glue in my life. Hang on, it is loading. What did you, hang on, it's a YouTube link. Oh no, it's not. It was YouTube. It was like a YouTube redirect thing. Okay. Benefits of acrylic adhesive. Ooh, Scotch Weld Metal Bonder acrylic. Scotch Weld. Ah, yeah. Well, also when I searched for this, I got this stuff. Ooh, Mandela Art Mosaic Glue. I wonder if that works on. That doesn't seem like specific acrylic glue, but these sorts of things certainly do. JB Weld, Super Weld Instant Adhesive. This one. Acrylic Special Glue Transparent for Organic Glass Adhesive. PC board, ABS, plastic. Oh, they're doing some keyword stuffing there. Acrylic glue. Yes. Okay. I did not know that specialist acrylic glue was a thing. I should have known. But come on, get that out of the way. Yes, okay. Ooh, the printer's finished. I just got a notification on my phone. My phone just went doing. All right, I'm going to go and grab these pieces. Whoop. I will go and grab the pieces, and we shall see how badly I screwed this up. Oh, look, you can see pieces there. These are pieces for the robot arm. Whoop. One serve. I've been printing more sets of the plastics for the...
Also, some acrylic glue is dry in instant contact, so once you drop it, it sips into the cracks, and then it's dry.
Ooh, nice. That sounds good, Henrik. All right. Here we go. Crickety crackety. Come on, off you get. I'm going to switch to overhead view. Okay, so this is the plate that was just printed. It's got a little, oops, what is that? Don't know. Oh, it's because I was cutting a sticker. All right, so I just need to clean up a little bit of scrunginess in there. And why is that like that? That's, oh, okay, no, that's just a bit of scrunginess as well. Something went wrong with the with printing around that hole, but that doesn't really matter. That's just a hole for the screw to go in. Now, one thing that slightly concerns me with this design is because this is so thin, there's not a lot for the screw to bite into. There are going to be screws coming up through the pressure plate into this, and they have 3 millimeters of depth. So yeah, I might have to experiment with that. All right, so that will go onto there, and this is what I mean. The screws will go through the pressure plate, come up, and then go onto that. Then the other part, let's get this out of the way. Move the Testomatic chassis. And then the other part, this one here, is what will descend and engage with this. So that and that need to mate. And they do, amazingly. So that onto there, and then snap on there. So bolt through, do it up tight. Okay. Come on. Now, did I get the hole size right? Because I don't know. I'm probably gonna have to, whoops, tweak things like the hole size for the magnet. It feels like it might be a little bit on the tight side. So this is where you really just got to print it and see. Nope, doesn't quite want to go into the hole. I need to increase the hole size slightly, or munge it. Although munging it is not going to be so easy on this piece where the holes are rebaited. They're blind holes.
Ostrov said, "Can you hammer it in?"
I wouldn't want to hammer a magnet. I could apply pressure to it, but if you hammer them, they can either shatter or demagnetize. So I'm going to avoid hammering of the magnets. I think what I'm going to have to do is change the parameter of the magnet size in the model and then reprint it. But what I might do is do that and just reprint this one, and not, because with this one I can hack it until I've got the hole size tuned. Let's see, how does that go? Also,
said, hammer using spacer.
Hammer using spacer. Yeah, I still don't want to hammer it. I'd apply pressure to it, but it would be, I would do it as like a constant pressure, like squeezing like this. Squeezing with a pair of pliers. There, that goes in. Rather than striking it, which, yeah, that's good. Very nice. Rather than striking it, which can damage it, I would rather just apply pressure. But these holes definitely need to be bigger. Now, the other thing is I need to get the polarity of the magnets sorted out. So that's repelling, that's attracting. So I need to make sure that they are all the same way around. Otherwise, this is going to end up being a bit of a disaster. So that going in there.
Scott Miller said, tight enough fit, no glue.
Yeah, I won't need glue on this. It's I need to make the fit a little bit looser. Otherwise, because with these I've had to actually trim it to get the magnets in. The magnet would not go in by itself. Okay.
Henrik Ostrov said, can arcade the magnet out and measure the hole with caliper?
Yeah, but there's always a little bit of inaccuracy with 3D printing. So this final stage of the process inevitably involves a little bit of tuning, like bumping the hole size by 1/10 of a millimeter and then doing a test print and seeing how it goes. So what I've done with this sort of thing in the past is made a test piece with a series of holes, and you increment the holes by 0.1 or 0.05 of a millimeter or something. So you've got yourself a range of holes, and then you just see which one fits best, and then that's now your reference. Rather than adjusting it, printing the part, adjusting it, printing the part, you do like a single test thing, and then you know that you've got it. Just making sure that I got the magnets all in the same way. Yes, I did. Now the thing is though, that what I need to do is, yeah, to get this out, yeah, it'll be fine. So this part, what's the time? 11:38. Okay, I've got a little bit of time. I'm just wondering about printing another one of these upper pieces. Yeah, so that will go through, and then I had some, I actually brought some things. Okay, here is a nut. Okay, now I haven't yet figured out how to handle the rotational alignment, because I need to be able to screw this bolt in and out to adjust the pressure, and then rotate this and then do the lock nut up while this is aligned with the bed. So there's going to be a little bit of fiddling, at least initially, but I think this solution should overall work out okay. Yeah, I need to print a new version of this with slightly bigger holes. I don't know how much bigger to go. It's come out as 5.9 when the magnets are 6 point, a bit over 6. So the magnets are slightly over 6, the holes are slightly under 6. This is a discrepancy that must be rectified. Alright, so before doing that, oh no, maybe I'm just thinking about the order, given that there is 20 minutes, and I think I will go to the hospital today, or somewhere. I will find like an urgent care place. I'll look up what the options are around here. Oh, excuse me. So I don't want to run overtime. I want to get onto that so that I'm not spending totally the rest of the day sitting around waiting in a hospital queue. Okay, I'm going to increase that hole size. What'll I take it to? I think I'll take it to 6.2 on the and yeah, bring that down. Cable tie. Cable tie. Oh, Scott says, could print the upper part with provision for a grub screw to lock rotation. Maybe? I think I see what you're saying. So like a grub screw coming through from the side, pushing against the bolt. That is an interesting idea. Yeah. Got to think about that one. Paul said, can you make the pressure plate slightly wider and add pins and pegs which touch the plate that the PCB is resting on? Maybe, but the question is, what is the purpose? And what is it that you're wanting to achieve by doing that? This will fix the separation and align the pressure plate. Maybe. That's an interesting way of thinking about it. Align it. Yeah, maybe. Okay, where are we? Pressure plate upper. I'm going to modify the parameter on that, make that 6.2, and then I'm going to print this one again. Save as mesh, yes, yes, yes. Yes, 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 yes. Pressure plate. Oh yeah, it's because it hadn't finished saving yet. Where is Bamboo Studio? It's right here. Prepare. Okay, get rid of those. Add pressure plate upper V4. I'm not convinced that the file is updated. Let's see. Where is, hang on, got to get back to Fusion. Yeah, V5. Okay, I'm going to export as mesh again now that it's saved, so that it's got the V5 file name, and then I will actually know whether I am picking the right file. V5, there we go. Pressure plate upper V5. And place it on that face, and go. Oh, hang on. No. I want to do it in... I'll do it in the blue again. Okay. Slice. And print. So it's got 19 minutes to print. And send. Okay. Oh, hang on. It had flow dynamics and all of that stuff turned on. Ah, well, doesn't matter. Or does it? Yeah, screw it. I'm going to cancel that job and I'll do it without all the flow dynamics calibration. It'll save a minute or two. Do you want to stop? Yes, I do. Okay, now I'm going to go back to prepare, preview, and print. Flow dynamics off, bed leveling off, because I know that it's okay anyway. Did it save any time? I don't know. It still says print time is 19 minutes, but maybe that's not including flow dynamics calibration. It would have done that calibration and the bed leveling on the last print that we just did, so we don't need to do it again.
Scott Miller said, it will finish 4 minutes into bodging time.
4 minutes into bodging time. Yeah, that's right. Now, what is it saying? Yeah, so 12:04 is its estimated completion time. Now, Jacksec said, isn't the bed in your lab still? What? Oh, it is. Thank you. That is a very good point. It would have, in fact, if I don't get this in time, it'll detect that the bed isn't there. There we go. So, I have just thrown the bed back on the machine. It would have done its scan and discovered that the bed was not on the machine. So yeah, that one nice thing about Bamboo printers is they do try to catch errors. Like they figure out if there is something wrong, like they detect it, whether the bed is there or not, and then complain. Or if you've got the wrong bed on it, like you've sliced it and said that you're using a textured build plate and you've got the smooth build plate on there, then it'll say wrong build plate installed. So yeah, it uses its camera to look at the QR codes on the build plates to do the setup. Now, what are we going to do? Oh, okay. Just because I'm going to do something silly, just because. Circumscribed or inscribed. I want to do a circumscribed one, and it's going to be so 3.5. Yes. Finish. Woo. And press pull 3. Yes. And what else? What are we going to do? Let's do that and make it 4. Yeah, that'll do. And then 20. Yeah. And then let's go, well actually what I'll do is, should I chamfer the end? Yeah, what the hell. I'm going to chamfer that by 1. No, I'll make it 0.6. And then create. Where are we? Thread on there. 4mm metric and modeled. Yes. There we go. Here's a bolt. And then I could make it look a little bit more.
Scott Miller said, wah ha 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 ha.
Then I could make it look a little bit more realistic by, I could stick a logo or something on it, but I can't be bothered doing that right now. I want to chain select the edges. That would be nicer. There, and did I get them all? I think I got them all. Yeah, let's just give it a slightly softened look and do appearance. Stainless. Come on. Why is it not finding stainless steel? Close plastic. Close. Come on. Metal. Stainless. Come on. Stainless. That'll do. Satin will do. Apply it to there. There. Now
Henrik
we've...
Ostrov said, yeah, we have a bolt now model a wrench for it as well.
We could make it a working wrench, like with a a proper... In fact, now that I've done this, because I've actually done this, which is kind of a silly thing to do, let's call this M4 bolt hex. No, it's a... What is that head style? I don't remember. Anyway, 20 millimeter. Now what we can do is go into the pressure plate assembly.
Scott Miller said, nuts washers.
Yeah, nuts and washers. But this is just getting silly. It's like modeling things for the sake of doing it. So there's no real point to it. Insert into current design. There we go. Except that I need to move it up slightly. Let's move it up by 3. How thick did I make the head? Did I make it 4 millimeters thick? I can't remember. Let's go to inspect section analysis, and we'll stick it on that face. Yep, that'll do. And then turn these back on so we can get a cross section. And this one, I'm going to move. I could use a joint or something, but nah. Okay, move it to there.
Henrik Ostrov said, TPU washer that wouldn't let it rotate when tightened up.
Henrik. Interesting idea. Okay. Yes. So that is an interesting idea. Let's hide that analysis. Okay. Yeah, I could model the magnets, but that would be just kind of silly. Little cylinders. Or, as cable tie says, or cut a hex shape into the block instead of a round hole. No, there is a problem with that cable tie. You would have missed the earlier discussion. The problem I have is that I can't make the head of this bolt captive because the vertical position is changed by turning that bolt. That's the Z-axis adjustment. So I need to be able to turn it to tune the position and then lock it in place. So yeah, having that captive would prevent me from doing that. I need to be able to adjust it and then bring a lock nut or something down on top of this to hold it at that
Henrik
position.
Ostrov said, can you quick model the TPU washer AMD? Added, I want to see how it looks.
Model a TPU washer. Yeah, okay. Just for you, Henrik. This is going to be the silliest thing ever. Let's make this 4.2 millimeters. And how big should we make the head of the washer? Make it 7 millimeters?
Scott Miller said,
let's make it 8
extruded
millimeters.
collar with provision for a grub screw on the upper part.
With a, yeah, that was, someone else mentioned that earlier. Who was that? Press pull. How thick is a washer? Let's make it
Henrik Ostrov
0.6
said,
of a millimeter.
also use wing nuts, it's easier to tighten.
Get rid of stainless. Is there like a rubber material? Get rid of metal. Come on.
Scott Miller said, that was me.
Oh, Scott, yeah. So Scott suggested a grub screw through the side. Yeah, so it could be done. When Scott suggested that, my idea was a grub screw through the side of the big rectangular block. But having a collar above it with a smaller grub screw might end up being more practical. Yeah, that is an interesting idea. It would mean I couldn't print it that way up. I'd have to print it the other way and then use supports. But that's all right. What am I doing? What am I doing? Other. Is base materials? Is there like a... No, I don't want base materials. Is there like a rubber... Would it come under plastic? I don't think it would. Nylon. Oh, maybe it would have TPU in here. Translucent. Polycarbonate. No. What about TPU? Search. Rubber? I don't know why it's not finding anything. From a Fusion Appearance Library. Ah, okay. Rubber soft. Yeah, let's apply this one. Okay. Close. And M4 rubber washer. And then we can insert it into here. But first I'm going to move this one. I should have just used the hotkeys. I'm going to move it by minus 0.6. Minus 0.6, because that was the thickness that I made the washer. I'm going to hide that and that. Insert this. And move that up to there. And then I can do a joint. So I'm going to go joint of that face onto that face. Is that going to work? No, it's not. Okay, I can't joint that to there. How about, no, I'm just going to move it. Rubber washer, move. I'll do it the crude way. Minus 1.5, it needs to be minus 1.6.
Scott Miller said,
There we
imagine
go.
a 5-axis CNC is the same size as the 3D printer. Could make it out of brass.
Yeah, well, what you're talking about is a project that my friend Steve has sort of already done prototypes, like, yeah, anyway, I won't get into all of that. So now I'll turn these back on, and let's turn the analysis back on so we can see the cross section. So there is the rubber washer in between the M4 bolt head and the plastic up the top. So Henrik, happy now? Whoops, what did I do? I think I just, yes, that's better. I was trying to save. Yeah, desktop CNC. Yes, Steve has actually already built desktop CNCs, and there is a whole Linux CNC thing. There has been the tool changer thing I've talked about on streams in the past. Yeah, CNC stuff is something that I haven't really talked about much on streams, but it is.
Henrik Ostrov said, now it won't mush up the plastic.
But it, yeah, true. But it is now, it is definitely an area of interest in mine, and I have my baby CNC out there, which I collected a control card.
Scott Miller said, still time to do the washer's nuts before print is finished.
Yeah, I could. Well, I've already done the washer, the rubber washer at least. Where is the print up to? Oh, it's 5 minutes away. The print is here. So, yes, during last weekend, I went over to Steve's factory and collected a PCI card that goes into the back of a PC for high-speed control of stepper motors and things for CNC machines, because he has been retrofitting
Henrik
Linux
Ostrov
CNC.
said, can you use wingnut on top?
Yeah, I could. I think you mentioned that earlier, or someone did. Yes, a wingnut could go on top. So that would be a good idea. What was I saying? That's right. So Steve has already mostly retrofitted Linux CNC control onto his big Mazak CNC lathe.
Scott Miller said, silly TTS doesn't understand ampersand.
It should understand ampersand. So I am installing the same system that he's got on his big Mazak CNC lathe on my baby CNC, which is why I was there last weekend getting the parts for that. So yeah, anyway, all of that is happening
Scott
in the
Miller said-
background. Scott Miller said what? Ampersand? Yes. It doesn't understand ampersand. That is interesting. It treats it as a silent character. But it is actually interesting that it said Scott Miller said, and then silence. So it recognizes that there is a message, and it recognizes that it's not an empty message, but it didn't say anything. Not design a peanut butter jar to keep it in. Design a peanut butter jar. But I want to eat the peanut butter. I want to eat the peanut butter. Okay. Now, where am I at? I don't know. That's right. What I should do. I know what I should do. While I am waiting for the other thing to print, I need to switch over to here. So we were about to have a replacement for this come off the printer, but I need to screw this onto here. And to do that, I'm going to need M2 self-tappers that are 4.5 plus 3 millimeters long, but no longer. So ideally I need like 7 millimeter, but I don't think I'm going to get that. I think I'm going to need to use 6 millimeter M2s, which is unfortunate because I can't use 8 millimeter. They would protrude all the way through. M2 3 to 8. I'll bring in both the regular and the self-tappers because I'm not really sure what's going to bite better. And I may need to adjust the holes, maybe reduce their size or something to allow the self-tappers to... So I've got my little containers of self-tappers. Put that one aside for now, and I will start with, I'll try with 6 millimeter non-countersunk self-tappers, and we'll see how well that attaches it. Which screwdriver do I want? Does that one bite nicely? Yes, it does. Okay, self-tapper, engage. Oh, it barely comes through. I'm going to have to go for the longer self-tapper because the end of that only just comes through the hole. Now I've got to get it back out. So I'm going to have to go for...
Pete said lunchtime.
Pete, yes, you are right. I'm going to have to go for 8 millimeter self-tappers. I'll get rid of these 6s. What I could do is also use a washer as a little bit of a spacer so that
Henrik Ostrog said,
it doesn't protrude through too much. The other thing is that I could add clearance for it in here, and then if the end comes through, it won't be too much of a disaster. So I'll just try without washers to start with, and I'll see. It just barely pokes the end through. Yeah.
it's medical time.
It's medical time? Yeah, it will be in just a moment. But first, I want to grab that other thing off the printer. I probably don't need 4 screws on this, but overkill is always just the right level of kill. Is that bedded down? It looks like it is. Okay, so, kind of cool. Clink, clink. As I didn't even mention this while I was doing it, but you remember that while I was doing the design, I beveled the edges. It is a 3:1 ratio, 3 millimeters thick, so it comes down 3 millimeters and in 1 millimeter. That is so that this will have a kind of self-centering effect. It'll go over the top and then self-align itself onto this.
Overkill is best kill. Henrik Ostrog said.
Overkill is definitely best kill. And the printer has just finished. So we can now see if the magnet size is correct. This time I'm going to put the build plate straight back in the printer rather than bringing it out and possibly screwing up my next attempt at a print. Okay, here we go. Here's the replacement for this. Now let's see if the magnets fit. Now I've got to make sure I orient the magnets correctly. Okay, so the magnet has to go with that face. I'll turn it over into that. Ooh, they slide in kind of firmly, but not firmly enough. I'm pretty sure these are going to come out. They're going to need to be glued. So what I might need to do is drop the hole size. Yeah, that one even fell out. So the hole size ended up being just a little bit too loose this time. I need to make it so that they are a tight press fit. Okay, next. But yes, I really should go and do something about my medical situation. That on there. And that on there. Okay.
Cable tie said, you should get the tetanus attended to within 48 hours is okay. You could front to your local GP tomorrow and they'll possibly prioritise you.
Yeah, that's true. I could. But yeah, what I think I'm going to do, well, okay. What I think I'm going to do is I will go to a nearby urgent care or ER type place and I'll make an assessment. If it seems like there are 50 people sitting there and I'm going to be there until midnight tonight, I will leave and try to get in, like go to my GP clinic in the morning. Otherwise, I will stay there with my laptop or whatever and see what I can do. But anyway, look at this. It's working. Woohoo! In terms of strength, I think it does need the 4 magnets. It snaps on nicely, but it really needs to grip properly. So if that's fixed, yeah, I want to be able to just unclip it.
Sounds like a plan.
I want to be able to just unclip it and put it away, but have it firmly held in place. So if this is attached to the gantry, I want to be able to just slide this in and go ka-snap and have it stay there, but pull it off whenever I want to. Yeah, okay. So far, I think this is a success. Yes. Now the actual orientation of the magnets, I need to be sure that I am super consistent with this from now on. Every single one of these that I make, I have to match the magnet orientation. Oh, what's this? Johnny! 37 months is more than like 30. 37 months of membership. Thanks, Johnny. Okay. Well, I think we did a thing. We actually started from scratch, designed something, printed it, and it works. There's just the slightest amount of play in there. It doesn't have to be super accurate. Like the fact that there is a little bit of play in this is okay. It just has to orient this so that the PCB goes under it and it stays kind of straight. It doesn't matter if it moves a couple of millimeters either way. I just don't want it, you know, doing this sort of thing, because that'd be really annoying while you're getting into a flow of testing PCBs. So, okay, now you can see that it's falling off when I do that. That's because it actually only has the power of 2 magnets right now. Or is it 3? Yeah. It does need the 4 magnets. Yeah, anything less, and that would be annoying. It'd be coming off really easily. So 4 magnets. 4 magnets, good. Yeah. Okay. So we've gone from that to that. Ah, who was it this time? Cable tie. And Henrik. Cool. Thank you, Cable Tie and Henrik.
The grub screw while waiting at urgent care.
Designing the grub screw. Yeah, I could do that. That is true. So what I should do, in order to do that, okay, here is the sucky thing. Because of Fusion's cloud dependency, well, actually, it's the good thing. I don't have to copy files over, but what I need to do is save all of this. Well, I'll just close all of these things. I need to open Fusion on my laptop and tell it to cache all of these files. And then they will be there when I'm offline. So, yeah, who knows what's happening in his foot. Yeah. MMUC wait time is 180, Jono. Okay, MMUCC. Right, urgent care. 3 hours. We have Medicare here. Basically, taxpayer-funded healthcare. Yeah, it should effectively cost me nothing to go and do this. It's just the annoyance of going to a hospital and sitting in a queue for a few hours. Okay. Yeah, but I should do it. I should do it. Johnny, seems you can buy. So, oh, they don't bulk bill. Cool. Thank you, Johnny. All right. Well, actually, that is a good argument for going to my GP clinic tomorrow, because they will bulk bill. They generally do bulk bill me. So yeah, I think I'll do that. It was 5 o'clock last night. If I go first thing tomorrow, it'll be well within the 48 hours. I reckon I'll be okay. I don't think I'll die in the meantime. Henrik is just having fun with the music now. Henrik. Henrik. Come on. Here it comes. And again. I don't know. I don't know why I like that super chat thing so much. I just do. So, okay. I'm going to go and maybe Google more symptoms of tetanus. Just so that I can then psychosomatically induce the symptoms and think and convince myself that I have it. So, yeah. All right. Anyway, now, there were some things I needed to mention. I'm trying to remember what. Okay, yes, one thing. Lachlan wants to rent out the factory next door, either the entire factory or part of the factory. Now, it would be dramatically preferable if it was just part of the factory next door, the front part, like the office part, which is Johnny and Henrik are in a fight over super chats. What is the exchange rate on sex? Thanks, Johnny. So there is a quite nice carpeted, like fitted out office front area next door. Jack Seck said the co-working space. Yeah, it's kind of like that. At the moment, it is kind of unused space. And, okay, so this is the thing. If he rents out the entire factory next door, that means that he has to compress all of his business into the back of this factory. Oh, here we go, Henrik. Yes, Cable Tie's right. It is all about sex with Johnny. Thanks, Henrik. So, if he rents out that entire factory, he has to move all of his operations into this factory, which then puts a lot of space pressure on here. So the ideal thing is to rent out just part of the factory next door. So if you know of someone who wants like 50 square meters or something of office space in Bayswater and working on the other side of the wall from me, then yeah, get in touch. Get in touch. So I can put you in touch with Lachlan. The other thing is that if you're in Melbourne, Andy is doing a talk at the MLAI meetup on Tuesday night. He's going to be talking about those SO101 robot arms and the things he's been doing using action models. I can't remember the terminology. Like a large action model or something instead of a large language model, to teach robots how to do stuff using machine learning. So yeah, if you're interested in that sort of thing, the MLAI meetup, Tuesday night here in Melbourne. Scott says cheap sex, 1 sec equals 16 cents Australian. Okay, I am going to go before A, I die of tetanus, or B, Johnny and Henrik get into more of a super chat battle. As cool as that is. Thank you for all the super chats and the memberships. Have a great week, and I will talk to you all next week, and hopefully I'll have the fully assembled stand to put the things in. I'll have more stuff next week. Next week is probably going to be a Testomatic stream, because I will also have a new I/O module that should be arriving this week. The PCB should be arriving this week. Oh, okay, I can't go until this one is played. Henrik's last one. Yeah. Next week we do a foot count. I charge extra to show you my feet. Oh, Andy! Andy is here in the chat. So Andy has just dropped a link to the to the meetup. So right there in the chat. So Tuesday, come along. I'm already dragging a couple of extra people along, so it'll be cool. Oh, what? Johnny is okay. Johnny is going all out. What does this work out to? That's a couple of cups of coffee. That is actually like a significant contribution, Johnny. Thank you. Yes, as Crispian says, uru, which in Australian means catch you later. So, thanks everybody. Have fun. I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Yes, that was it.